that has been dealing with some unhealthy behaviors or repeating behaviors, and that could include something to do with substances. And that leads to some frustration with regards to connections around this individual. So, to be honest, this kind of feels like there's multiple people that are feeling frustration with somebody who may have gone back to an old behavior or may have picked up a behavior that is making them kind of difficult to deal with or unpredictable. So, this I need more love, I do feel like this is what prompts someone to pursue these unhealthy behaviors. But I think it's also the consequence of those behaviors as the people around that individual are struggling to connect. So let's call on spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. And I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedonestarot@gmail.com. It's in the description box for you, as is more information on how to become a member, as well as how to find my homemade soy candles on Etsy. Thank you to those that have checked it out. So I'm just going to say, by the way, if anyone in the live chat is able to put some 1-800 numbers that support folks that are trying to improve their life, I would very much so appreciate that. I can't do that right now because I'm trying to do the reading. But I also want to just say that if you are working on yourself and trying to change an unhealthy behavior, I believe in you and I salute you for making a difference in your own life and stepping up to do something about it instead of just sitting there. Even if you fall back into it, I believe in you. Hello, Lemonade. How we doing? We're gonna start off with the Hocus Pocus Tarot, if I can actually get it off the bookshelf. All right, what else do we got? What else? A Four of Potions, which is the Four of Cups. The Knight of Potions or the Knight of Cups in the reverse, and the Ace of Pumpkins or Ace of Pentacles. Rejection, loss, feeling lonely, feeling like nobody really understands them, feeling like they are on their own. Nobody really wants to figure out what to do. This is someone who's creating more distance between them and the people around them, but it starts off with feeling like I'm not like them or they don't really like me for who I am. Oh, Michaela, how are you doing? I'm good, thank you. Strength, the Three of Wands, and the Three of Pumpkins or Three of Pentacles. I think this is people working together to say we need to do something to help this person because we've all noticed that there's been a change in behavior, or I feel like we need to find a way to um, introduce this person to a therapist or someone who can guide them towards better behaviors, because it doesn't have to be substance, right? Unhealthy behavior could be something to do with like codependency and relationships, like emotional codependency, right? Hello, Jamike, how are you doing? Hello, Darnell, what's up? What else? Nine of Lightning, which is the Nine of Swords, and the Empress. So this feels to me like compassion. I see someone going through a difficult time. I know that they're dealing with some anxiety or perhaps restlessness, and I want to do something to help. So we have this Empress. It does not need to be a woman. This Empress is surveying the situation and feeling a pull towards action. I want to do something to help this person, or I feel like I need to have a conversation with them. Nine of Potions or Nine of Cups in the reverse. 10 of Candles, 10 of Wands, and the Hierophant. Honestly, this is really starting to feel like we have an intervention. There are a couple of us who feel like there are some troublesome behaviors that are happening, and we want to help you to deal with it. And I don't think it's any, like, it's not, I didn't think of it when I reached for the Hocus Pocus Tarot, but of course I did, because it's got bottles all over this tarot deck. Potions instead of cups. So yes, there's some sort of addictive behavior here, and we have someone who's saying, I know how we can get you to establish a different routine or a different pattern. I know how we can address these feelings of frustration or sadness or loneliness without requiring that bottle or whatever it is that they've been relying on, right? Hello, Merida. How are you doing? What else? Justice in the reverse. And the King of Pumpkins. So part of the issue here is there could be some like indecisiveness. I want to make a change, but I haven't yet. I know it's going to be difficult. Maybe I can do it then. Maybe I can do it after my birthday. Maybe I can do that after I get a promotion. And then people are working together, friends or family or, you know, a romantic interest, to say, no, we really feel like this needs to happen sooner. Let's talk about this. Thank you for the tip, Merida. Let me add that for you. Offered a new position at current. Or awesome. I have added that for you. Hello, Eric. How are you? Hello, JD. So what can we do to talk to this individual and help them release whatever has been making them feel like they have to keep doing this same unhealthy behavior and free themselves from that cage? You know, they might feel like that's where they're supposed to be, or that's the only way they can imagine getting through life, but we can show them a different path, or we can have a conversation and better understand what's going on. So we have the Ten of Swords, or Ten of Lightning. It's in the reverse, and I love that because the card in reverse stands for recovery. So we have someone who's saying, you're right, maybe I've just been looking for, you know, something to motivate me to make this change, but let's do this. Hey Lee, how are you doing? Hello, how's it going, Ryder? Ten of Wands in the reverse, Ace of Pentacles, and the Tower in the reverse. There's something that has changed their mind. I think they have been a bit stubborn. I don't want to change what I've been doing, but now this looks like an opportunity to me because I'm stressed over something. Perhaps there's been, you know, someone else that they've lived with who also liked to go to happy hour, or, you know, someone who always had, you know, some vodka on hand. But we have this changed perspective where it's like, I just don't want to keep going through the same pattern, or I don't want to keep feeling like, you know, I failed my family or my person. So there's a softening. It's like, no, I don't think I want to keep doing this. So if you are presenting me with an opportunity to change that behavior or learn a little bit on how to let go of the things that have kind of created this mindset for me, then I'm going to take advantage of that, right? Hey, Rachel, what's up? Hello. Is it Tabisa? Oh, how was the walk? All right, so we've got the King of Pentacles. Wow, the King of Pentacles is clarifying the King of Pentacles. In the Hocus Pocus deck, it's the King of Pumpkins. So, stability requires a change in location, because that King of Pumpkins is unusual, right? It's represented by a house. We also had the World card. So we have somebody who's making a choice to go elsewhere because they know where they currently are. It's just keeping them in a holding pattern. So if I walk away, then maybe I'll have different results. Maybe I thought I could change my behavior, but it's been because I haven't walked away from this apartment or this job or this boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. They're realizing, okay, y'all actually care about me and you're trying to help me change this behavior, whatever it is. And I have this ability to do that now, and things get better. Hey, Merida, we are at about 11 minutes, and so it'll be probably about 23 minutes, something like that. We have the Page of Swords, Ace of Wands, and the Nine of Pentacles. Maybe they got a letter that's saying they're going to get evicted. Maybe they got some sort of setback as far as being able to stay with a particular job. Maybe there's been a breakup. But we have someone who's thinking more independently than they had before and listening to their intuition, realizing that they have this opportunity to change and start a new chapter, and it's looking more appealing to them than it had in the past. Hanged Man in the reverse, the King of Cups, and the Page of Pentacles. I know I've been stubborn. I know I've been unwilling to see the truth of what you've been saying or what other people have been saying. But now I'm acknowledging that what you've been trying to convince me of or what you've been trying to do to help me, it's because you care about me. King of Cups, you want me to be happy. So I guess I'm willing to invest in something different. I guess I'm willing to try something new. Or I will take that opportunity and run with it. We'll see what happens. Eight of Swords, Six of Swords. The Eight of Swords is in the reverse. Oh, I like that because that means we have somebody who sees things clearly. Maybe before I viewed it as like, giving up words, I would never do that. But now I'm seeing with the Six of Swords that if I make that change, if I pursue that new chapter, then things would be easier for me. So why would I fight against that? All right, this is the Poe Tarot. Hey, James, how are you doing? Why would you have to stop? What else? Four of Wells, which is the Four of Cups, and the very same card that we got at the very beginning. Four of Cups. This is a card that talks about emotional distance or feeling lonely. Give me a card that talks about rejection, right? And so, being young and dipped in folly, I fell in love with melancholy. And now I'm hearing Garbage, which is a band, just to be clear. It's not like, a cat being excited over the rustling of a plastic bag. It's actually music, okay, you guys? I'm only happy when it rains. But I think, isn't there also another song, The Trick is to Keep Breathing? This is someone who has dealt with some pretty difficult, traumatic events. Not really felt like anybody understood how that impacted them. So they stayed to themselves. I do feel like this person has experienced a lot of grief at a young age. So they might have lost a family member or a best friend or something like that at a young age. The King of Wells or the King of Cups. I was never really insane except upon occasions when my heart was touched. So they kind of iced out their heart or purposefully pursued being at a distance from others because the pain was too much to bear from early experiences of loss. If I don't let you in, if I don't love you, if I don't let you see who I am, then it won't hurt to lose you. They started to expect everyone to be kind of fleeting in their life. We did. Hello, Tiana. How are you doing? Yes, that could also be it, Rachel. Hello, Juice. I was gonna mess that one up. Hello, Juice. How are you doing? So to block out those experiences, they found some sort of codependent behavior. It's a general reading, so take it how it resonates, but it would have supported the idea of being a bit distant. You have the Four of Candles or the Four of Wands. I loved her with a love more fervent than I had believed it possible to feel for any denizen of earth. And the Knight of Quills or the Knight of Swords. The object, truth, or the satisfaction of the intellect, and the object, passion, or the excitement of the heart, are, although attainable to a certain extent in poetry, far more readily attainable in prose. This is someone who feels like everybody just kind of glosses over the sadness of life instead of experiencing it. But what they've really done is kind of like wrap themselves up in this pain or transfer the type of pain they had experienced at a young age into a different kind of pain. But they loved someone and lost them early on. However that worked out. My condolences to whoever that is. That's so weird, James. He said hearing colors is awesome. I literally, like maybe a week ago, watched the episode of House where the patient was freaking out because she felt like she could hear color. Are you watching that episode? Hello, Joaquin. How are you doing? Third Eye, go check out that House episode. You can find out. All right, so we've got the Two of Paws or the Two of Pentacles. I became insane with long intervals of horrible sanity. Interesting to have two cards referencing sanity. This is someone who has struggled with their mental health, but hasn't always felt like they had the resources available to them that they needed, which in my opinion is a great travesty. One thing I wish my country did better is how we view therapy. I spent some time in Mexico, and my understanding is in Mexico, therapy is pretty like, yeah, everybody does it. There's not like a judgment that goes along with it, right? Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that. Those of you that currently reside in Mexico, I've been there a long time. Not so much in this country. I mean, yeah, maybe it's been changing, but I do feel like we could do better offering counseling to people. Hello, Humilde. How are you doing? Hello, great one. How are you doing? All right, let's get an oracle. No, actually, we need more tarot. We're gonna go with the black tarot. What else do we have? Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of folks out there who should be offering protection, but they fail in that. That's great, Humilde. I agree, Tiana. What else? Knight of Wands in the reverse, Two of Swords, Two of Wands in the reverse, and the Star in the reverse. This feels to me like another loss has happened. After this is someone who is, kind of struggled and leaned on codependent behaviors to get them through the experiences of loss that they had already encountered. Now we have them at a crossroads because of that difficulty, that unexpected change. They're all the more aware of the unhealed energy or the need for them to work through their issues. So I think they are offered an opportunity to get some assistance, some help, and they are not quick to dismiss that. Hello, Colleen. How are you doing? I hope you find that they hear you a little bit more effectively, Rachel, because it's important to be open to that, right? So we have the Ace of Spheres, which is the Ace of Pentacles, but it's coming through in the reverse, again, indicating a sense of loss. So this could be someone who has experienced the loss of a friend. We have the Ten of Cups. This is someone they loved, though. I feel like this is someone who passed away. Knight of Spheres or Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. Something that happened, I think, kind of suddenly, that makes it very clear that a different path needs to be chosen for this person, or they will continue to experience similar loss over and over again. Hey, Marty. You are welcome in the live chat, but could we be a little bit more positive? I would really encourage you to talk about yourself in a better way. Beyond that, I believe in you being able to turn that around, okay? Hello, Tandy. How are you doing? What else? So we have someone who has a reputation for being unpredictable. Someone who 1 minute they're doing what you expect, the next they're gone, or they're doing exactly what they told you they wouldn't be doing. I feel like this is the person that passed, to be honest. Time, delay, procrastination, too busy, important person, playing an essential role, irreplaceable. This is the person who passed away. And because they procrastinated changing their behaviors, because they were unwilling to listen to the advice of the people that cared about them, I feel like this is someone who, has passed away. And this is that loss that I think is motivating. What are we calling you? Ace of Pentacles? The King of Cups? Yeah, I think we're going to call him the King of Cups. Does not mean that they have to be a man, but this King of Cups is someone who is experiencing another loss that kind of brings up or rehashes the past as well, right? Hello, Helen. How are you doing? Thank you, Rachel, for sharing that. Reading up, doing the research, learning more, gaining insight. The blues. And looking to explore, huh? Dealing with some heavy emotions because they've lost somebody that was really important to them. And realizing as they learn more that it's important for them to learn from this experience. This feels to me like a little bit similar to, I don't remember her name, the Jessica Jones chick when she was in Breaking Bad. That's all I'm going to say about that, just in case. But this does feel like a pretty difficult wake-up call for someone. James, that might be a little heavy-handed. You are allowed to think bad about yourselves on this channel, but I like to elucidate for you how much of an impact that really does have. And if I can encourage you all to throw those negative thought patterns out the window and teach you how much you can change your life by changing how you view yourself, then I will absolutely do everything in my power to do that. I think a lot of the people out there who are stuck in a holding pattern of frustration or insecurity or um, loneliness, it's because they don't believe in themselves. And if my meek little channel can inspire someone to believe in themselves so that they can make those changes, I'm here for it. Are you allowed to think negatively about yourself? Yes, but I will challenge you on it because a lot of times we are our own worst critic, right? I hope it's getting better for you, Helen. Yes, her name is Kristen Ritter. That's correct. I remember now. All right, so we've got penny pinching. The cleanse. Detox. Because I lost someone else. You know, it's not a fun thing to be reminded of mortality or the reality of some of these substances out here, but we have someone who's realizing now is probably a really good time for me to be honest with myself about what I'm doing, the impact it could have, and why things happened the way they did with this person that I cared about. You know, I think we have reality kind of slapping this person across the face, and they're choosing to do something different. Oh, I hope you can figure that out, Helen. I love to sing, but I'm terrified to do it. And one time I actually signed up to sing in front of my entire high school. Now, my high school was small, so there's like maybe 500 people, but I was still terrified. But I did it, and I believe in you. Yeah, Ryder, who are we talking to? I'd be curious on that answer as well. Hello, Mohammed. I hope your domestic issues find a resolution. Yes, that's true. So we have healing. If not now, when? And encouragement. There's someone here who reminds the King of Cups of their value. You're important. I care about you. I want to see you be happy. It's sometimes a low threshold that people need to be reminded that someone sees and cares and understands them that can offer a catalyst for them to change their ways or work towards a happier existence. So I do feel like we've got someone choosing a different path, choosing to go to treatment or choosing to change their behaviors. And as a result, we have people that are extremely excited. Like I really did watch that show Intervention, and sometimes it was a bit demoralizing, and other times like I would just bawl because it was so amazing to see the folks after they'd been in treatment for like 60 or 90 days looking themselves and being happier than they had been in a long time. I do think that we have someone here who is going to experience a turnaround very similar to that. Oh, Malakea, how are you doing? Hello, MTM, how are you doing? So we have someone who is processing those emotions that they may have had to, kind of admit they've been ignoring. I probably should have dealt with that trauma, or I probably should have dealt with that turning of events a long time ago in therapy, but at least I am now. And I feel like it's the right time, and I feel like I can actually handle this. They're feeling more confident than they had, even though it is very disruptive, right? They probably had to go elsewhere. They probably had to put their life on hold, but they've got someone here who's offering encouragement and support that makes it a lot easier to go forward with that. Hello, Scammy. How are you doing? Oh no, you encountered a scammer? I'm sorry, hun. Oh, yeah, that's no good. You deserve better than that, Scammy. Hello. Is it supposed to be Scooby Doo? Scooby Doo, I will be starting personal questions shortly, and I do prioritize those who tip or donate. Yes, I agree, Tiana. And you can also donate a membership, just so you know, Scooby Doo. All right, let's just get a few from the Gypsy Oracle, and then we'll dive into those personal questions. Well, I mean, I could ask for you, Scummy. Maybe there's a cord cutting that you need to do. Well, Skimmy, if you could just be slightly less cool, then maybe fewer people would be attracted to you, and therefore you would reduce the number of weirdos. All right, what else do we have? We've got Journey. This is somebody who's traveling to a facility where they are able to detox and let go of the trauma that has plagued them for much of their life. And I do feel like there's someone who is gifting them this healing, right? Much like that show did. I'm pretty sure no one had to pay for their actual treatment program. And then we have a wedding. That's interesting. Why do we have a wedding? I'm sorry. I didn't know that's where we were going to go with this. Okay. So we have somebody who goes to a treatment program finally, and they, do the work and they meet someone there. Really? I mean, that shouldn't really be the goal of it. I mean, if it happens, okay. But we have someone who is, we have someone who is running away from a false relationship, someone who didn't really want to do right by this connection. And in treatment, they meet somebody who is like highlighting for them why it was crazy that they were willing to be in that relationship for so long. Wait, what's the message? What, Lemonade? Are you making fun of me? Hello, Melika. How are you doing? Hello, Jared. What's up? All right, we're gonna dive into those personal questions, y'all. Let's see which we got married up first, and we're gonna go with the Cat's Eye Tarot. Yes, I agree. All right, so we need to know, is Merida going to be offered a new position at the current place? Will Merida be offered a new position at the current place? Yes. Magician in the reverse. Why the Magician in the reverse? Be cautious on this new position that is offered to you, Merida. I do feel like, for the most part, it's what you're looking for, but there's something they are not telling you. The thing, like the example that's coming through for me is they're not telling you how much work is expected for how much pay. Like maybe they're not backfilling some other position, so you end up having to do the work of two people, or they're not warning you that the budget for your new position is like 75% of what it was the previous year. There's something here where it's like, make sure you're asking questions about this or get all the details on paper, because I do feel like there is something they're hiding that you would want to know before you get too invested. Hello, is it Iman? Hello, Michael. Hello, Joseph. How are you doing? Oh, my condolences to you, Jared. I hope you're all right. Oops, that's for this one. All right. Lee asked me to pull a few, and she donates pretty consistently, so I'm going to do a freebie for her. What do we have for Lee, please? Plus, I accidentally blocked her the other day, so I still feel guilty. What do we have for Lee, please? Page of Swords, Seven of Cups, Four of Wands. Queen of Cups in the reverse. And the Moon in the reverse. Is this in the social group? No. Is this exes? Is this family? Okay, so we have a reference here to someone that you are related to, hiding something regarding a marriage. They feel ashamed of something, and this is why, you know, I'm not going to tell you what's really going on. I'm going to hide the truth. But I do feel like we have a marriage that is on the rocks, or a very serious relationship that is not doing well. But this person who is probably related to you, or, you know, maybe they're married to someone who's related to you. This is someone who's like, I don't want to tell you the truth about what's really going on because I know you're just going to judge me. I know you're just going to like try to find a way to make me feel bad about this. I don't think that's fair to you, but I think you expect this person to think like that. So I think you know something is off, but this person doesn't really want to admit it to you. Let's see. I did, Merida. If you want to just rewind a little bit, I think I started it at about 34 minutes, so that's about 4 minutes ago. And then let's see if Skemmy is cursed. Yes. So what does Skemmy need to know to undo this? Six of Swords, Knight of Wands, Two of Pentacles in the reverse. I just have to do an experiment. I need to pull one more card. Okay. Yeah, I feel like there's someone who has done some sort of magic on you. We have the Magician coming. But what I'm seeing is you going somewhere. I don't think I ever noticed that. It says Stan back there. Right there. I don't think I ever saw that. I feel like this is saying you are going to travel to a place that you've already been. And I'm noticing this name Stan because you are a fan of it. You like this place a lot. I see you going to a place that has water that you really like. You've already been there. That water is cleansing. Get in the water. Maybe not like all of you, right? And I see you offering something to the earth. You are undoing the magic. And I do feel like this is in the next couple of months, but I see you traveling. So here's the deal. Find something that you can part with that does mean something to you. Now you could look at that and be like, well, this like $5 bill means something to me, but I guess I could like, you know, get rid of it or whatever. Trying to think of a good example. I don't know. You're going to have to choose that. I'm sorry, I can't tell you that. But I see you cleansing in water in a place that you like. And I see you burying something in the earth that means something to you and making an offering to the earth. And that clears the magic that has been sent to you. Some of you out there are like, whoa, Carmen, what? But you really do need to address that because it's blocking you. I wouldn't do sand. I would do dirt. That's just me. But also because it's probably safer. But yes, I would go with your first instinct, especially if you've been there with some, yeah, I would do that. But it's gonna require you saying something, cutting cord, blocking the energy. I'm offering this to the earth and hopeful that it will bless me in return. Do not view it as transactional. You are gifting something, right? It's an offering. But this is gonna improve things for you. Yeah, I don't know who did this to you, but they don't like you. Hello, Sophia. How are you doing? Hello, Ralph. Hello, Queen. What's up? Hello, Martua. That's kind of the energy I was picking up on, Lee, but I wanted to leave it a little bit open in case it was somebody else that you might know. Thanks, James. Do you want me to pull some cards for you, hon? Yes. Let me write that down. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes. Hello, Wire. How are you doing? James, you gotta tell me if you want me to pull some cards for you. I ain't got nobody else on my list. Should I just preemptively pull some cards for you? Darnell is suggesting specifically dillweed because it cancels black magic and evil eye. I've always been taught that it should be something that is, you know, a minor sacrifice, something that, you know, a little bit difficult to bury, to let go of. All right, so James, we've got the World, the Devil, and the Queen of Swords. I feel like we've got someone who you know is self-absorbed or insecure, but no one else is picking up on it. So this feels to me like confirmation that you are right. Maybe other people are a little slow to realize this person's true character, but you're over here like, I see what I see. I know what it is. You are right. But I don't think you're going to be able to convince the others around you. So when you see this, oh, sorry, James. You took too long. I asked you like 5 minutes before that. Sorry. Okay, that's a good idea, Skemmy. You tell me how that goes, okay? I want to hear about it. I'm sorry, James. But when you tip me, you could just include it in the super chat whether or not you want a reading. That's what you could do. Here's a $5 bill. No reading for James. I like surprises. Hello, Handel. Please rise above judging other people. How about them apples? Hello, is it Odile? How are you doing? If you had to go back to one moment in your life that felt pure and happy, where would you go? The first thing that came to my mind, even though I don't usually answer these questions, there was this trip that my family took to Wisconsin Dells when I was, oh, I don't know, like maybe 10 or 11. And I couldn't convince my older brother to go on the, what do they call those things? When you sit in like a log and you're going in like a water ride and it's like a little roller coaster. What is it called, you guys? You know what I'm talking about, though. I couldn't convince my brother to join me. And I really wanted to go on that ride. And so my dad said that he would go. And we went on that ride like literally like 12 times in a row because I loved it so much. And it was so out of his character to actually go on that ride because he's like, so where we go, buttoned up kind of dude. But that was amazing. Flume. There it is. We're still friends, James? Okay. If you want to give me direction on your tips going forward, then I won't do this again. But I thought I was being generous. All right. I love you all. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscribes. Thank you for hyping if you're able to. And due to the sensitive nature of today's reading, I also just want to say believe in yourself. Change is possible, and there are some beautiful days ahead, and you might surprise yourself with what you're capable of. And I guess I'm not actually signing off. Hold on, I got another reading. But I really cannot stress enough. We are often our worst critic, so do not assume that you are incapable of making those changes. All right, so for Martua, we've got, what is the best way for me to earn money of my own? Page of Pentacles in the reverse, Three of Cups, Empress in the reverse, Emperor in the reverse. Are you good with children? I don't know why, but I'm seeing something with children, like childcare. Or shoot, you want to be the clown at birthday? I feel like there's something here with the Emperor and the Empress in the reverse where you are helpful in a situation where the parents are not doing what they should. So it could even be like counseling for children. But I feel like you have the ability to have a positive impact on the young minds. This could also be animals, I suppose, having like a charity or something. Maybe that's later in life. But I see you having a really big heart, caring for others. So we have Strength, Queen of Pentacles, Ten of Cups in the reverse. I feel like you help with domestic stuff. So I don't know, maybe it's even like being a tutor or a nanny or something. But I see you being helpful around children. Is that too much? Did I miss one from Lee? Yes, of course I can, Lee. Let me grab some cards. Martua, I hope that helps. We're gonna go with the Soul Cat Tarot. What else do we have for Lee, please? Three of Cups, Knight of Cups, Seven of Pentacles, Queen of Swords. Someone is admiring you from a little bit of a distance, but feeling like you have your guard up or you're not interested. You don't want to get to know anybody. This person finds you attractive. Feels like they want to pursue a long-term connection with you, but they know there's a roadblock. Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, Six of Swords in reverse. Is this person not single? This person's like separated or maybe going through a divorce, but I don't think they're like all the way through that yet. But this is like, I know I'm going to be able to, and I'm already like, I know where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go find Lee because I want to be, flirting with Lee. I would be cautious. I think this person needs to work on themselves before they can just go like dive into a new relationship. Ten of Pentacles and the World in the reverse. This Ten of Pentacles is your energy, Lee, and I see you just kind of focusing on yourself like, oh, you like me? That's nice. Anyways. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not going to dive into that. It looks to me like you're still cleaning up that mess over there. So why don't you focus on that? Someone's interested in you, and your gut reaction is, no, thank you. And it appears to me that that is the right choice. The Four of Cups that fell out as well. Hello, Mary. How are you doing? All right, I'm going to leave it there. I love you all. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscribes. And I will see you on the next.